Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Grapplers Academy. Today we're going to be discussing how to get more bang for your buck and looking at double penetration.
So we're looking at the penetration step into the double leg, like I say, getting in there.
It's important to have effective penetration, whether we're wrestling or whether we're doing any other grappling sports. So we're going to we discussed last week a little bit on grip fighting, and that's we are completely fucking this up, but we're going to leave it in anyway because it's probably quite funny. Yeah, we're going to have a look at how to get good penetration on a double leg, because without really that penetration you're going to get sprawled on pretty hard and your double leg's you're going to get crushed.
Yeah.
You're going to end up in a shitty position underneath, so we need to be able to get good penetration and get the knee in between our opponent's legs pretty much to get our hips underneath as well, because most of the power from takedowns is coming from our ability to get our hips and our point of power underneath our opponent, and then we can drive into them and continue into the takedown.
Oh, definitely. Like a lot of it's, you see a lot of times where people's failed takedowns come when they're not getting enough onto their hips. So you see a lot of people where they'll enter in and they'll come from out here, and as soon as we enter in for that penetration step has been really shallow. And as soon as I'm hitting the floor, I'm not even making a dent onto Bond's hips. So
here there with that line, when Si was kneeling down and it was like a shallow penetration, the knee was just in line with my toes. And it's really easy for me there when Si does that to be able to just easily take a step back from there, because there's not enough, he's not got enough reach and grab to be able to get a good connection on my legs or on my hips.
So a little pointer that I try and sort of use as a point of reference is I'm trying to get my big toe in line with Bond's big toe, and as a byproduct of this, my knee will land behind his heel, and then due to my posture being in the right place where I'm not leaning too far back and sort of coiled forward, my shoulder's going to hit the hips as my knee hits the floor, and it's going to send Bond slightly backwards, knocking him off balance and giving me a better chance to enter into that double leg. So as I'm coming forward, I'm getting that first step in, I'm in line with the big toes, I'm changing my level and I'm driving forward, and as you can see before my knees even hit the floor, I'm into the hips with my shoulder, and I'm able to catch down and get Bond travelling backwards before he even started to drive forward for the double leg as well.
So before, when it was a shallow shot, when the knee landed in line with my toes this time. We have the whole length of the shin in terms of distance extra, in terms of penetration, so we're that much further in. And you can see on the video, as soon as Si's shoulders hit me, because he had a grip on my legs, my hips were being pushed back behind. So I've gone from being in a strong position here with my hips and my shoulders over my centre of gravity to being pushed back onto my heels and having bad balance. Another thing that's important for shooting on the double, when we're looking at it from strictly a jiu-jitsu or a grappling point of view, and we've got submissions as well, is that head position. In wrestling, we aren't at risk of getting like a guillotine or anything like that, although a good double leg in wrestling is going to look very similar to a good double leg in jiu-jitsu as well. It's about getting that head up and arching, isn't it, and not leaving the head low. So as you said when you came through it, you had the shoulder and the head on the hip. It's being able to arch up and drive up into that takedown rather than keeping the chin down and being able to get wrapped. And then as you hit your takedown, you might get dragged into a closed guard, and then the guy might be finishing you from the back with the guillotine.
Oh, definitely. And the reason that works as well is because of the shape of the head. So as my head's sort of forward and looking down, it's easy to wrap the neck up. But as soon as I sort of look up, I'm hiding the back of the neck, and it doesn't give Bond the right amount of leverage and the right angle to actually start attacking the neck effectively, which keeps my neck safe. And if they do keep hold of that head and that neck, as you transition past the guard with the takedown and then your side control, they keep hold of it, it does give you options to set off things like the Bond flu choke and nice transitions into other submissions there. You can even separate for the head and arm choke and other things like that.
And mechanically as well, from my point of view, if I'm able even to get a connection on the chin to begin with, if Si elevates the head, I go from here from being in a strong position. If we think about this in terms of another thing in jiu-jitsu where I'm defending a kimura choke, if I keep hold of that and the head comes up, my hand now starts to come back up out to the side, and I'm putting a weak point on my shoulder. So when we're finishing a kimura, this hand comes out to the side, It makes the shoulder weak and my grip weak as well. So it just takes away any finishing power and allows you to continue with that drive and get a good hit on the takedown.
Also with the penetration step as well, it doesn't just count for the low double where we're shooting in and getting that knee to the floor. If we are going to go in for a high double as well, where we're staying standing, again, I'm not sort of shooting from out here. I'm still trying to step in on Bond's lead leg to catch hold of it so I can drive forward and get my foot underneath his hips, which makes my drive forward much easier and again, much tougher for him to sprawl. So if I'm sort of stepping nice and shallow and reaching in for this double leg, I'm in a really bad position, so if Bond wants to sprawl, I'm more likely to go down and hit the mat because of my bad mechanics in here. As soon as I sort of step in nice and deep with this, catch the legs, now if Bond tries to sprawl, I've got a much better grip onto the back of his legs so his hips can't escape, and also I'm in a stronger position to keep driving forward and I'm not going to be caught off balance where I'm going to end up eating the mat if you get sprawled on as well.
So another thing that we talked about as well, quite a few times when we talked about takedowns or setting anything up, is the ability to tie it in with stuff that's going to put your opponent off balance and make it easier for you to get access on that. If I just try and shoot from side across the room here, I've got to telegraph my movement quite a lot, or I've got to be the quickest human being in the world and he's going to be the slowest human being in the world. So even if I come in and get a good penetration from here but I've done nothing to set it up, he's going to be able to read my movement before I come in. So we've talked about this before where sometimes like a collar or arm dragging can be a good option to try and get a reaction out of him, because basically if I can get him stood up and have his centre of gravity away from his hip, so if I'm snapping down on this here and I get him to pop his head up, now I've got a much better option to step in, hit my penetration, and then come in and get the takedown, where he's not expecting the movement. I've actually set him up to have bad balance even before I hit the takedown, and it's going to be much more effective than trying to shoot out here, where I'm telegraphing my movement to him, and he's got a couple of seconds is a long time in grappling or wrestling. It's a long time to react. You can react in split seconds, so you've got to take away all of the advantages that your opponent's got and stack them in your favour.
Now, a good drill for you to get used to sort of going over on the knee, but or finding which takedown for you regarding the double leg, is to sort of get a few reps in that level change and allowing the knee to go over the toes and seeing if it's for you, because you see a lot when the less experienced or newer people to takedowns, when they're coming in for the double leg, rather than shooting forward, they'll level change and then they'll bring their foot back to try and drive through. So in regards to like a solo drill or even a partner drill, partner's going to stand there and you're going to step in, level change, and allow this knee to drive forward. You're going to drive your partner back. And with regards to like a solo drill, you can do the same again, where level changing and you're coming forward and stepping through. So you're trying to get out of that habit of allowing the foot to come out of the way for the knee, and you're driving forward constantly with that.
So it's kind of, you can kind of do like if you're doing it as a drill or a line drill in the class, you can do like a duck step walk,
yeah,
walk down the mats, or you can also do it with your partner as well. Just basically hit the double, push them back, get them to step back again. You can hit it on the other leg, and just basically duck walk with the partner down the mat. It's a good way of getting it. It's just so important to be able to get in underneath and get that penetration where you're hitting hard with the shoulder, then you're right underneath the opponent. It's going to massively up the chances of you getting that takedown.
So, coached by Si, bona fide PT with the Grapplers Academy. Make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment below, make sure you're subscribed, and we'll see you next week.